Hey everybody on YouTube. As I promised in one of my earlier videos this week, I promised a redux of one of my videos where the audio is not audible. Because I didn't realize that at the time, and it was anime, why it kicks Western cartoons' asses. I'm going to do that, but with new arguments and new facts, and it's going to be calmer than the other video because I think I was too excited when I did that video. But now, onto the video, which I'm going to call Anime Awesome Cartoons Redux, because I don't want to feel like doing a really long title. But first off, the first reason why anime is better than Western cartoons is because there's such a wide swath of cartoons and anime and manga and different things. There's such a swath. There's children, there's kids, there's teenagers, there's adult, there's really adult, there's things like that. There's just such a big swath of it. There's something for everything, for everyone. And I think even the kid mangas usually have some kind of pretext behind it that sort of have some moral or some kind of underpinning to it. But the adult ones have a lot of that kind of stuff. Code Geass, in my opinion, has a pretext against imperialism. You should go watch Code Geass to get my point. Western comics and cartoons are usually considered kids' fare. There's not many adult cartoons and adult comics. There is adult comics, like the new Marvel series that are out. Yes, they are adult. Like The Punisher, even though that's not new, but that was always an adult comic that dealt with adult things. But Japanese manga deals with technological advancement and why sometimes it's not right, and how if we go too far things can get really bad. Appleseed does that. A lot of Masamune Shiro, a lot of his work has dealt with technology, the ethical dilemmas that people face when we become more technologized people, and what it can mean for the human race if we rely on technology too much. Ghost in the Shell, has a very not anti-technology, but sort of rein in technology kind of feel to it, because there's cyborgs, and there's evil cyborgs, but there's good cyborgs. There's good parts of technology that we need, but there's bad things that can happen if we abuse that technology. A lot of them have a pretext under them. American cartoons are just usually fluff. There's no real underpinnings. There's no real something that an adult can look at and see in it. There's just straight out, this is good, this is bad. It's just fluff. It's story. It's not. There's no moralistic thing to it. It's just hollow inside. Anime and manga always have an underpinning. They always have something that they're either trying to get to you or telling you. And yes, there is some manga and anime that are just purely fluff, that are just kiddie fare. But I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that do have moralistic issues and ethical issues in them. And yeah, some are just plain violence, and some of them, and I think most of them, are used as ploys to get merchandising, but they all have an underpinning to them. They don't all, but a majority of manga and anime have an underpinning to them that tells you something about what you should feel and how you feel. Death Note is a very good example of that. It has like Light even says that people in public will say killing criminals is wrong, but most people feel that if it comes down to it, killing criminals is a public service. And that's what happens with Kira, because Kira start to follow him and start to become more boisterous in what they believe. And but there's still people who object to it because they still say it's wrong, you shouldn't do it. Like Light's father, he stands strong and says that you shouldn't kill anybody, be it criminals or innocent people. That's a moralistic theme right there. It sort of conflicts. There's conflicts between public and personal self, and how people perceive you. There's always a deeper meaning to things in some mangas and most anime, or some anime. And I think that's why they're superior to Western cartoons, because Western cartoons, as I said, there's nothing to them. They're just hollow, purely entertainment. They don't make you think. They don't pose you moralistic challenges. Death Note, people say, they try and say, oh, it's banned in some places, Death Note. Like, you can't have a Death Note notebook. Like, you can't have a Death Note notebook in some countries because they're afraid of what it'll say to the children. And it's not a children's anime. It deals with death. It deals with the righteousness, self-righteousness of people, the whether the morality of killing someone, even if it's a bad person. It deals with that. It's not a kid's show. It's not. It's never. I don't think it ever was meant to be a child's show or a child's manga. I think it's meant to be like a teenager one where you're trying to form your own opinions about things, and that sort of gives you a way to not justify your point, but that gives you a way to make your perspective on something known. I mean, even music, Japanese music has like stuff like Dorian Gray. I heard that Dorian Gray's Obscure is about abortion, and there's their song. And I wanted to take Japanese at college this semester, but I can't. But I mean, a lot of them have moral issues. Some of them are just pure fluff and happy and go lucky, like Lucky Star, Azumanga Daioh. There's no pretext to that. It's just meant to be entertainment. And then there's just shows like I think Bleach and Naruto, and that's just a plain thing for merchandising and violence. Ninja Scroll is just nothing but violence. But there's also anime and manga that are historically accurate in the time of the samurai. Rurouni Kenshin is pretty good on the history of Japan, because it deals with a Ronin, a masterless samurai. And it deals with him just floating around and going from place to place through time and space and things like that. And I think that's why anime and manga are better than American cartoons and comics, because they've always had either something to say, but my reason is behind saying that anime and manga are better than Western cartoons and comics is because throughout their history they've always had a point to them, and they've come out of something really primal, most of them. They came out of fear of a nuclear holocaust happening, and with the 2 bombs in Hiroshima and Nagasaki. And there's a lot of things that sprung out of that, and how people lived through that and then saw what it did to people. Grave of the Fireflies is a very good example of that. I haven't seen it, but it follows a doctor that goes to Nagasaki and Hiroshima to treat the wounded and stuff, and it's awesome. I want to see that because I want to see what their perspective is on things. But that's why I think that anime and manga are superior, because it was sprung up from really people watching Disney and then having something horrible happen to them, and then that springs up, and then that's a way to illustrate their points and their views. I think that's why it's really superior. I'm RezenatorZen. That was my redux of an older video of mine. Comment, post video responses and things. But that's all I really got to say on the topic. I'm sorry if it was redundant. I got a fucking headache. But peace out, peace and love from a Rezenator. Goodbye, guys.